Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? So today I'm interviewing Dial-Up Digest. How's it going? If you want to introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi. I'm Dial Up Digest. I make YouTube videos about TV shows and some other 90s content like movies from the 90s and 2000s.
Yeah, you really you have to go in depth about like Hey Arnold stuff. You cover like individual characters and stuff like that, and I find that actually kind of cool. Like nobody really does that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, when I was growing up, like Hey Arnold was like one of my favorite shows, and like I don't know, like even as a kid, like I noticed it was like different from like other shows. Like it was very like mature and they really talked about things that like other shows didn't. And I really appreciated that about like Hey Arnold. So when I got older and I was thinking about making like a YouTube channel and yeah, like I thought when I thought about making like a YouTube channel about cartoons and stuff, Hey Arnold was like it was like one of the first shows that came to my mind. And yeah, from there I kind of got into doing characters and then it kind of turned into like a 50 plus playlist of different characters. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I got that. You mostly cover like Nickelodeon stuff like Hey Arnold and Rugrats, and honestly, I find that kind of cool. You really go in depth, and Hey Arnold really seemed like a down to earth show back in the day. Like it covered a lot of topics that cartoons really just didn't touch.
Yeah, definitely for sure. And yeah, I think it was really important that it did that because like kids like they went through like difficult things too, right? Like with their parents or with their
Yep.
friends or yeah, just with life in general. And most of the cartoons were just focused on, just like the happy part of being a kid and, the fun stuff. But it's hard to find a show that really went into kind of like the like sadder or like more difficult parts of like being a kid. So yeah, it was a great show.
Yeah, most definitely. Now, I'll just start with a simple question. What's in your opinion the most underrated cartoons of the '90s and or the 2000s?
Oh wow, underrated. Let me think. Mm, It's a good question. Okay, let me think. Mm, I don't know, the 90s and 2000s, like there were so many good shows, but I'm not really sure which ones didn't get as much attention as they could. I know like within specific shows, like I feel like certain characters were kind of like underutilized and stuff, like in Hey Arnold, for example. Like when
Hmm.
I went into like the character analysis, like sometimes I talk about these like characters that were just kind of in the background, but I feel like they had more potential and stuff. So yeah, I kind of talk about that. But in terms of like shows, let me kind of think here. Mm, oh, maybe I don't know if you've heard the show Brothers Garcia. It was a show on
Mm,
Nickelodeon, I think
no, I haven't heard.
2000. Oh, yeah, it was really good. It was about like a Latino family in America. I think Mexican American. Yeah, it was a really good show. It talked about like family values and it was a very just like wholesome show, but it was also very like entertaining and it talked about like Mexican American like culture and just kind of blending those two worlds together. But it was also very like universal, so like anybody could like enjoy the show. And I don't know, it was yeah, I think it was very it didn't get as much attention as it should have. I think they actually have like I think a spin-off or like something that came out very recently called the Garcias. So it's kind of
Mhm.
like in the show, it's like a family of let's see, one, two, three, four family with like four kids. And so like when they're young and like the kid like the youngest, it's like from the perspective of like the youngest child pretty much. And then now like the sequel is like when they're all grown up and like their kids and stuff. Yeah, it was a good show. You should look it up. The Brothers Garcia. It was on Nickelodeon.
Okay, introduction time. That's George, that's Carlos, and that's me, Larry. We're the Brothers Garcia. Oh yeah, that's my twin sister Lorraine. We live in San Antonio with my mom, that's her, and my dad. We're pretty much your typical family, but with a little more attitude. Go George! Go George! See what I mean?
The Brothers Garcia. 4 kids, 2 parents, 1 comedy. Coming Sunday, July 23rd at 8:30, 7:30 Central on Nickelodeon.
Gotcha. Now, what did you say like on the current state of like animation and whatnot? Like, do you think modern cartoons are good, bad? What are your thoughts?
Oh, like today?
Yeah.
Let me think. I'm not sure. To be honest, I haven't really checked out what's going on now, but I think I've seen a little bit. I don't know. I don't. I'm not really a fan. Like I prefer what I grew up with. Um, yeah. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Have you looked into what's like going on now in cartoons? Because I'm really not too familiar.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's not really that good. I mean, I'd say for the most part, Nickelodeon is just focused on like I guess sitcom stuff, and they release like a few cartoons here and there. Cartoon Network is like a bit of a different story. I mean, there's some good ones like Gumball and Clarence, and there's a few good ones. It's just the majority of it just seems kind of bad. Like, of course, me personally, I prefer the stuff from the '90s and the 2000s, but modern cartoons, I'm personally not a fan.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything's always better when you were kids, right? When we were kids compared to whatever's going on now.
Yeah. It's just I don't know, man. I know it seems unreasonable for cartoons to go back to that style. It's just I don't know. Cartoons back then had a certain magic to them that cartoons don't really have nowadays.
Like more kind of realistic, relatable, like that kind of thing, I think, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, not every good cartoon has to be like realistic and down to earth. I mean, just look at Ren and Stimpy. I loved that show as a kid.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, definitely. It doesn't have to be like relatable, but just like entertaining too. Just like, like a good quality show. I know what you mean. Yeah. Doesn't have to be like a realistic.
Yeah. Well, actually, what were some of your favorite cartoons back in the day?
I'm sorry. I couldn't quite hear that.
Oh, I'm sorry. What were some of your favorite cartoons back in the day?
Okay. Well, yeah, of course, Hey Arnold, Rugrats, let's see, cartoons. I mean, I watched a lot of kind of like anime. I don't know if that counts as cartoon, but like Sailor Moon, Pokemon, Dragon Ball, like that kind of thing.
I got you.
Yeah, Dexter's Laboratory. I made a video about that not too long ago. Let me think. I watched As Told by Ginger. Let me think what else. Mm, yeah, pretty much those shows. Other than like cartoons, like yeah, I watched some sitcoms like Drake and Josh when that came out. I think early 2000s. I think that's when it came out. Yeah, I was a big
Like
fan of Drake and Josh.
around 2004, 2005, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Some of my at least personal favorites are, of course, I like a little bit of both cartoon and sitcom. I really liked Kenan and Kel and all that and stuff like that. Me personally, I'm a big fan of the classics like Ren and Snippy, Rocko's Modern Life. I like Doug. I wasn't really a fan of it, but me personally, I liked it. I loved Hey Arnold, and like on the Cartoon Network side, I loved when it comes to Cartoon Network, I mostly love the stuff from like the 2000s, like Robot Boy, My Gym Partner's a Monkey, stuff like that. I would say, me personally, I like a little bit of both.
Yeah, for sure. Mhm.
Yeah, no, it's weird. Like me personally, I'm a big fan of Rugrats, but it seems like that show sort of like ran into the ground. Like it had 3 movies and stuff like that. Like Nickelodeon really fucking milked Rugrats for what it had.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was getting kind of old towards the end. Like I feel like the ideas weren't as good as the beginning, and they were just trying to, yeah, they're trying to go with it as long as they could.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
agree.
it's not really said, but like I grew up with like the later seasons and whatnot when I forgot that one baby's name, but Chucky's sister and all that. Like I grew up with the later seasons. I didn't really watch it from 1991 and then on. I mostly grew up with like the later stuff.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it just seems like they just milked it with all the merchandise, the movies, those weird watches. Like they really milked it. And
Yeah.
then and then they're doing the same thing with SpongeBob and whatnot. It's just like I don't know, like some cartoons kind of like overstay their welcome. Like I watched your All Grown Ups video. Me personally, I remember that one episode with that one where you talking about where millions of people watched. I was fucking there and I was watching. I absolutely loved it. But I feel like the
Hmm.
show All Grown Up kind of overstayed its welcome. Like I
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
I liked season one and whatnot, but what are you gonna do now that the babies are all grown up? The show stayed old. The show didn't have to stay as long as it did, but of course, Nickelodeon they milked it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Like I remember when that episode came out when it was like during like the Rugrats and it showed when they were all grown up and yeah, that was like really exciting and like but then when that came out with the show, it was like a little disappointing. It was like, okay, it just seems like a regular show. Like they're all grown up just doing kind of like middle school things and whatever and it yeah, definitely lost its like the charm of the Rugrats from like the original show. So I wasn't too into it, but I still kind of watched it here and there. But yeah, it wasn't that great. Rugrats was definitely the better show. Yeah.
Most definitely. And actually, speaking of Rugrats, did you ever see that? I forget the name of it, but it's just like this weird side plot. This happened. This came out like right after All Grown Up and they're in like preschool or whatever. Did you happen to see that?
Oh, you mean preschool days?
Yeah.
Yeah, that that was so weird. Like I remember when it came out, like I think it was during the springtime or something. There was like I don't know, like March or April. Like I remember they just randomly came out with like these 3 episodes. I think it was like 3 or 4 episodes, and then
Yeah.
it was just gone. And I was like, what was that? And then nobody talked about it again. It was so random.
Yeah, and it came out like way after the Rugrats died, like 2006, 2007. Like it came out at a extremely weird time.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I know you covered Daria recently. What's your opinion on the other classic MTV cartoons like Beavis and Butthead and whatnot?
So yeah, actually, I never actually watched the Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I know it's like a very popular show, but like, I don't know. I think it was on kind of before my time, if I'm not sure. I don't know. Let me see. When did that
Yeah,
show came out? In the 80s or 90s or?
I
Not sure.
think late
Oh,
80s.
1993 first episode. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. Didn't expect that.
but yeah, Beavis and Butthead was a little. I think I saw one episode like one time, and that was it. After that, I saw like the remake back in like 2013, and that's sort of my whole history with it.
Yeah, I didn't watch that.
Uh, I understand that. Now, what are your thoughts on like adult animation, like Family Guy and The Simpsons and all that?
Yeah, like Simpsons, yeah, I grew up watching Simpsons. Yeah, like I remember watching it from when I was yeah, pretty young. Yeah, I think yeah, Simpsons was one of those shows where like, you know, you can watch it with your family pretty much and I mean even though it's kind of like an adult cartoon and there's some like maybe adult jokes or here and there, but I don't know, like I still kind of watched it with my family and yeah, I enjoyed it. Like I really liked Lisa and her personality and yeah, just the whole family dynamic. And I mean, The Simpsons is one of those. It's like, you know, it's like one of the most, I think, popular American cartoons, right? Like everybody knows The Simpsons, and yeah, I was a fan. How about yourself?
Me personally, I was more of a Family Guy man myself, and I'll be honest, I watched Family Guy when I was way too young, and I absolutely love the show back in the day. I love the early seasons and the ones I'd say the early seasons and like the mid seasons. Family Guy is still somewhat overstated, like like Family Guy is dead at this point, in my opinion. But I would say I love everything released up until 2016 or so, because Family Guy's been going on for way too long, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually never really got into Family Guy, but like I mean I'm familiar with the show. Like I know like I've obviously I've heard of it, but I don't know. It's just maybe not my style of like humor or TV show. Yeah, I never really got into it.
I got you. Well, there's actually like another show, like I guess I guess even darker than Family Guy. It was released in like the mid '90s. It was called Duckman or whatever. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I've never watched it. What is that show like?
So apparently it's just like humanoid duck or whatever, and he's a very angry duck or whatever. And I believe in my bad, because I haven't watched the show in a while either, but basically he deals with this messed up job. He has a family or whatever that don't really like him, and he's just a depressed, angry duck trying to deal with life, and it's weirdly funny.
I'm Duckman, someone you never heard of, doing a show you've never seen on a night you're never home. Why the hell am I spending money on a commercial?
You're not paying. USA is paying.
And a fine network it is. Boneheads.
Duckman, premiering next Saturday night at 10:30, 9:30 Central on USA.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow.
Yeah.
This was on was it on MTV or Nickelodeon? What was this
No, it
on?
was on. I think it was on either Comedy Central or CBS. I can't honestly remember.
Oh wow. That's funny.
Yeah, and then there's this other one too. Me personally, I can't remember it. Now with I guess modern cartoons and all that having the new style and whatnot, do you think Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon could ever really be good again?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because I mean, they had something with like Rugrats and SpongeBob. They just absolutely milked it. But
Yeah,
but obviously it's going to be hard for corporations not to milk what they make money on.
yeah, definitely. And I think like SpongeBob, it's still going on, right? Like it didn't end.
Yeah.
I think it's still like, wow. It's yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, I don't know, because I mean, I guess like, if kids still enjoy it and, they're still buying the merchandise and, watching the movies, if movies come out and stuff, I guess they don't like corporations don't have a reason to just end it, right? If there's still like, a want for it, they can just keep supplying, right? So I
Yeah,
guess
yeah, it's
I guess-
just it's just I don't know. Like I know I sound like a boomer when I'm saying this, but SpongeBob should just go back to like the early seasons from like seasons 1 to 3, back in like the late '90s, early 2000s era. Like and granted, I know this is gonna be like a bit weird, but like Nickelodeon has to like appeal to a new generation and whatnot, and it's also gonna be kind of hard, appealing to I guess us, millennial Gen Z generation that grew up with like the old Nickelodeon. But I feel like there should be like a proper way to deal with like both. Obviously show the modern stuff and the old school stuff. Although I think some of the old school stuff is going to be harder to broadcast nowadays, given its controversial sense of humor and whatnot.
yeah, yeah,
Like
definitely.
I feel like there should be a proper way to appeal to both new and old.
hmm
Like instead
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
of, I was just gonna say, like, instead of showing Nick at Night or whatever, why not show stuff from the 2000s and the 90s?
hmm Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's definitely hard to like appeal to kind of the old audience and the new audience because like they both like different things, right? So there's
Yeah,
whatever they do, they're gonna make somebody angry or someone's not gonna be happy with it. So it's hard to find that balance, that perfect balance. Like for example, with the like Rugrats, they recently came out with like a revival, and a lot of like millennials or like people who grew up with like the 90s show, like they're not really too happy about it because like the animation changed and they changed some characters around like Kimmy, I think she's like older and then like Susie is younger and I don't know. I mean, I don't know if even like younger generation, or I don't know if they're even watching this show, but the
Exactly.
older the older generation is just like, I think overall not too happy about what's going on with Rugrats. So yeah, it's
Right.
very hard to kind of bring something back from the past. Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like they're dumping their old stuff on Paramount Plus, and granted, there's nothing wrong with that. I just feel like there should be like a proper way to watch it on TV because they recently cut off that I forgot what it was called, but they would usually show like 90 stuff at like 12 a.m. or whatever on Teen Nick, and they recently just cut that off. So most of their
Oh.
old stuff is on Paramount Plus.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I didn't know about
Yeah,
that. Hmm.
it's kind of weird. And like with Cartoon Network too, I would say it's sort of the same thing, just a little bit less because I mean, Cartoon Network, the modern cartoons are still, you have some good ones here and there. Like I said, Gumball, Clarence, a few good ones. But I feel like
Mhm.
they should be able to show again their old stuff, like My Gym Partner's a Monkey or Dexter's Lab or Johnny Brown. Well, I don't think they could show Johnny Bravo today to modern audience.
Hey, come here. What are you doing tonight around 8 o'clock? Because I got this show on Cartoon Network. Oh, yeah, the Cartoon Network. Sure, they love me. A little closer. Anyway, I was thinking we could do a little video dating. Mwah. Johnny Bravo, tonight at 8 on Cartoon Network. Aw, can't we hire someone to do this kind of thing?
But
No. Yeah.
but there
Mhm.
should be a proper way to preserve the old stuff instead of putting it all on Boomerang.
Mm. Yeah, I definitely agree with you there, because yeah, like shows like Dexter's Lab or even like Hey Arnold, like even though those shows were made like 20 years ago or so, like I feel like they're still kind of relevant to kids today. Like
It should.
they can still learn from the lessons, they can still be entertained. And I mean, yeah, I think sometimes it is kind of a little outdated, like maybe with some jokes or some kind of commentary or the technology that they use or something. But like but like overall,
I mean, imagine somebody from this generation watching Hey Arnold and not knowing that a beeper is when Bob represents Bob's beepers. Like
yeah, I
they're not
was
gonna
just
know what that
thinking that.
is.
Yeah, like what's a beeper? Exactly, yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. I think overall though, like they should definitely, instead of like what they did was just kind of separating those old shows to like you said, like Nick at Night or something specifically for that demographic. I mean, I think kids today would still enjoy these shows, like if they were introduced to them. I don't
I
know.
agree. Like,
Yeah.
and again, I'm also admit, like Billy and Mandy. I don't think that would be made today, but I feel like kids nowadays should still see it. Like they should still be able to see the class. They should still be able to see the classic episodes and whatnot.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. Mm.
And like I said, older cartoons they still have a message. Like Rocco's Modern Life. I mean, it still has some sketchy jokes here and there, but the message still applies.
What are you watching now, you sick little monkey? Shh! I'm getting ready for Rocco.
It's the world premiere of Nickelodeon's newest Nicktoon, Rocco's Modern Life.
What in the blazes?
He's a winsome little wallaby living on his own, trying to cope with everyday life with his dim-witted dog, Spunky, his best friend, Heifer, and the big heads next door. Don't miss the world premiere of Rocco's Modern Life. Sunday, September 19th on the home of Nicktoons, Nickelodeon.
Or even like you said, it was Daria. I would say a lot of those themes on Daria really apply to today because Daria was way ahead of its time.
100%. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, like when I made my video, I posted it I think Friday night. Yeah, like yeah, like yeah, I just I just posted it like yesterday. And yeah, like when I was like researching the video and making it up, like I was surprised at how like forward thinking they were. And like the things Dario would say, like yeah, it's just so like meaningful. And even today, like kids today or teenagers today, like if they like watch those episodes, like it can like really, make a difference. Like it was a very important show.
It was.
Yeah.
All right, then. I just want to thank you for being on here. It was a great opportunity. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me. Yeah, this was really fun. Thanks.
No problem. Is there anything else you want to say?
Yeah, just yeah, so I'm Dial Up Digest. I have a YouTube channel. It's also called Dial Up Digest. I post videos every Thursday about TV shows and sometimes movies from the 90s and 2000s. So if that's something that interests you, then yeah, definitely subscribe to my channel and check us out there.
Yeah, check her out, and I guess I'll see you guys later. Peace.